What is up, and welcome into the Easy Smoke and the GM podcast. I am your host, Ezra McCann, and I'm joined, as always, by my outstanding co-hosts. He's a Chicago Public League legend. He's a Simeon legend. He's a Grambling State legend. He played second base for the Tigers. Back in the day, he was all swag. He is none other than Brandon Williams, a.k.a. Coach Smoke. And we've got our NFL draft expert, analyst, enthusiast. He knows everything football. He is Glenn Morgan, our GM. Gentlemen, so we talked about, some weeks ago, the next four games for the Bears would tell us where this team is. Uh, those four games are up now.
Hmm.
The Bears went 3-1. 3-1. All right. Good wins against Minnesota, obviously the big win in Philadelphia. Um, am I missing one?
Be Pittsburgh.
Pittsburgh. Aaron Rodgers and well, no, Aaron Rodgers didn't play that game, but Pittsburgh, and then the loss to Green Bay this past Sunday. Um, can I say that you guys are now on board that this team is legit?
I'll say this. The Bears are who we thought they were. The Bears are who we thought they were. I mean, who takes the first few games of the season like they mean nothing? Huh? The Bears are who we thought we were. Let them off the hook. Let the Packers off the hook. You want to crown their ass? Crown them. But the Bears are who we thought they were.
I'm in.
Smoke is in. Yes.
Smoke is in.
Yes.
Smoke is in. I'm in, but we'll talk more as how important next week is to keep me in. But but right now I'm in. I mean, we said 2-2 was at least, what we needed to do. And we went beyond those expectations, at least from me and GM. What we did against Philadelphia was very impressive. And then what I saw yesterday, so Philadelphia and yesterday, what I saw is what everyone had been speaking on early on that I wasn't seeing. I finally saw it those two games. And that's the coaching aspect. I feel like that's when we saw the coaching come to life. In the Philly game, we're running. We had an instance where we decide we're going to just go away from the run. Let's do a little screen. Caleb throws a pick. Okay. Being said, okay, scratch that. We're going to just go back to running. And it worked. I'm like, okay, that shows me you tried to make a little change, tried to catch them off guard. It didn't work. They got an interception. Okay, we're going to get back to what we was doing. Boom. Yesterday, we were struggling in that first half. I mean, struggling. It was looking rough. We come back in that second half, and everything, especially offensively, we looked a lot better. Saw the adjustments being made. Started putting Caleb on the move a lot more. Just doing different things to have success offensively. I felt defensively we made some adjustments in that second half that worked. It became more about our personnel in the second half defensively than the scheme itself.
I think Kyler Gordon being out was a huge loss yesterday.
That could be said. I just really think it came down to personnel, especially when you look at the 3rd and 2 with Jacobs. I mean, the defense was there. You all have to execute on the field. That's not on coaching that. That's on the players right there. So I felt it was a good showing yesterday. My absolute fear was how it ended. Because Caleb hadn't thrown an interception in those type of moments or had a turnover in those type of moments. Shit, feels like since he been a Bear. I knew at some point it would happen, I just didn't want it to happen against the fucking Packers. It seems like something always happens against them. Of course, we can go down the list.
No, we don't need to.
Cobb,
We don't need to
yeah,
bring.
we
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 need to
we can
bring
go.
all that up.
It just, but it was like I just wish it didn't happen with them. I felt the play call was, to me, I liked the play call. I think the the issue was he saw Cole late. He just saw him late, and that's what happened. I know people are saying DJ Moore got open, but at the point that DJ got
there's no
open,
way.
the ball was already leaving Caleb's hand. I love the idea to roll him out with the option to either hit Swift or with him to be able to run it himself. But Green Bay was all over it. They was all over
I
it.
don't think
Like,
people said he could have kept the ball and got. I don't think he could have. He would have made it.
man,
I don't think he would have made it there.
it would. I mean, it
He'd
would have
have to
been
be
interesting.
physical. He'd
It
have
would
to
have
end
been
it physically.
interesting.
He'd
Yeah,
have to
it
give
would
a
have been
shoulder
interesting.
and physically. Yeah.
It would have been interesting, but I'm not mad that he didn't try to do that. I mean, like I say, if he picked his eyes up to Cole a second sooner, that's a TD.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, the play design was there for us to make the play. Um, I was listening to Key to Leave, and he said something today that made me think again about it as well. He said he think Caleb, because a lot of his misses are high, he tried to be too perfect on that throw and didn't want to sail it over Komet's head, so he tried to be too fine with it, and that's what hurt him right there. He like, because most of his misses are high, and so he didn't want to miss there. He tried to be too, and I'm like, I can see that, but at the same time, the defender, he made a good play on it. Like, Caleb probably didn't even see him, and when you flow the ball like that, it get a defender time to catch up to it. So I liked what I saw. Looking forward to seeing them again in 2 weeks and see how we bounce back to see if we can get the one at home. They took care of home field, cool. It was a good showing by us, in my opinion, and it gives me hope moving forward.
Um, Real quick with the Caleb thing, as you were saying, yeah, I think you're right. He was too careful with it, probably because of what you mentioned as far as him missing high. That's a lot of his misses. With the DJ Moore thing, DJ unveiled, or we see him, but it's a little bit later. And what happened was the guy that intercepted the ball, he actually was covering DJ, but that really wasn't his man. He had seen that he saw the commit was open, so he left DJ and went straight and made a beeline and was able to make a play, due in part to the fact that Caleb kind of floated it. If Caleb had just thrown it, like you said, maybe a half second sooner and actually thrown it, and that was too careful, maybe dude doesn't make a play on the ball. But that's kind of how that whole thing played out. Play call was fine. There was nothing wrong with the play call because, and I get it, you just run up a wall with Monanga, you just ran into a wall. So Green Bay is going to be geared to stop you. They don't have to cover as deep because you're closer to the end zone. So your safeties can play closer to the line. So you have more people coming at you to stop you again. I thought the fact that they've been rolling Caleb mostly to the right, especially in that last quarter and a half, him going left was a little different. But giving Caleb the option, and you put that pressure on the defense when you have a quarterback who can run or pass, and someone who can make plays happen like Caleb, the defense kind of is like, I won't say they're at your mercy. They can maybe take away two options. I don't know if they can take away three options, at that point. And Caleb just wasn't able to execute as well. And that's fine. I will say this, though. I'm glad they lost that game. I'm super fine with it. Do I want to lose to Green Bay? No, beat them every time. I get that. But I don't care
No.
that they lost. And I'm glad that they lost because it does things positively for this team. It does things positively for this coaching staff. I do believe we'll find out. I do believe Ben Johnson will be the type of coach where the same team's not going to beat him twice in a year. I think he's going to be that kind of coach. I think he takes full measure when he plays a team, especially when he loses to them. And when he comes back, he's a problem solver. he's gonna solve. He solved the problem in the second half.
But
Yeah.
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I literally wasn't worried. I was like, man, they're really not looking good in this first quarter. At one point, I think Caleb was 0 for 5, 0 yards or whatever. I'm like, and then, it's 7-3. I'm like, okay. And then they had the breakdown of the defense, 14-3. I'm like, okay, and you know what? Not worried. They're gonna find a way to get back in the game because this guy's a problem solver. And sure enough, they came out, and I would have thought you turned back the clock and it was 1970s Bears football again because they just rammed the ball. He does things to take the heart out of a defense.
Mm-hmm.
They had to cut to a shot, or there was a cut to Micah Parsons' face.
Gassed.
He was gassed, but he also looked like what? It was right after they did that screen pass where he thought he was about to get Caleb, and they did like a middle screen or whatever. He's just like, what the like they're like, we don't know what they're doing, when they're doing it. Just when you think you got them stopped, they get it, and that drive kept going. It's a 17 play drive, 80 plus
17
yards.
plays, 83 yards, 8 minutes, 32 seconds off the clock.
Dude, that takes your heart, especially in that kind of weather. And so I firmly believe if the game had gone to overtime, the Bears were going to score a touchdown. Now, whether or not the Bears defense would have stopped Green Bay, I don't know, because I
Well,
actually
he
thought
said,
both.
Ben Johnson said they were going for two. If they scored, they were going for
Okay,
two.
they would go for two, then they were probably going to win the game. I firmly believe both head coaches, they're both the offensive coordinators for the teams for all intents and purposes, and the play callers during game day, if nothing else. I thought they both did a really good job. I thought they both did a good job. And I'm like, man, this is going to be great for the next 10 plus years. Because I don't think LaFleur is going anywhere. And I know Ben Johnson ain't going nowhere. And as long as, your key elements stay healthy, i.e. your quarterback or whoever your core players end up being, this is going to be one hell of a rivalry.
Mm-hmm.
And nothing like what we've seen in our lifetimes, really. I mean, Dicka's Bears come a little close to it, but in terms of, I'm talking about like just slugfest back and forth to where any team at any given time is going to win.
But we've never had that.
Yeah, that's what I'm
It's
saying.
always
That's what I said in our
one
lifetime.
team is good. Yeah,
Strong in the
one
upper.
team is yeah.
Right.
We've never been like for a long period of time both teams being powered. It's never happened.
Nope. That was probably right before I was probably like late 50s, early 60s when they may have been the closest.
Yeah.
Where teams were kind of
But
close.
even then, I think before Lombardi got to Green Bay, the Packers weren't doing much. It was the Bears on top.
Yeah.
The Bears did win a title in the 60s, but the Packers dominated the 60s after that. So I don't think it's ever happened.
Right. So it's probably never happened. This is going to be interesting. And, to a lesser degree, I think Detroit's not necessarily going anywhere, and the Vikings are talented too. But basically, man, I was thinking about this as I was driving. I'm like, you know what? This is going to be this. Welcome to the new black and blue division.
Mm-hmm. It's
because
with throwing.
No, not necessarily. Because you look at what Detroit does.
But Detroit runs the football,
yeah, and they'll pound you with Montgomery, and they'll gas you with Gibbs. And here in Chicago, for right now we have Swift and Mononga. I'm pretty sure that'll change and evolve. But the other teams are going to have to get with that program, which means that, adapt or die. So they're going to do probably something. Minnesota's got a couple of, Mason pounds the ball a little bit. They have all the teams have some pretty decent offensive lines. So yeah, man, get ready for the new black and blue. And the defense is going to get after you. I mean, with Dennis Allen here, we have a much more aggressive attacking defense. Brian Flores ain't going nowhere. The NFL ain't going to hire him as a head coach. Right. And whoever Detroit is, they're going to take on the persona of the head coach, who's a gruff guy. So yeah, man. I mean, get your helmets.
For the most of the entire, this is going to be old school where all these coaches are going to be here for a while.
Yes. They're young.
Yeah,
and all the quarterbacks are going to be there for a while.
Yes,
I mean, Goff is the oldest.
Yeah,
Goff is the oldest. I mean, he's still got at least 4 to 5
7,
left
8.
in him.
No, 7 or 8, dude. Way quarterbacks play these days.
Yeah.
He gets protected. He don't really. When's the last time you saw him really take a pounding?
True. That's true.
You know, so yeah, I'm telling you, man, I scoped it out before the season began. I was like, man, the GMs are young, the head coaches are young, and the quarterbacks are young. This is going to be like the AFC North, where they're going to be good. Any one of the four teams, any given year, can win a division.
Yeah.
Any given year, probably two teams are going to be going to the playoffs. Arguably, it'll be a couple of seasons where all four can make that argument, or make that bid, and you're probably going to get several years where three go, because they're just that good. And I'm telling you, welcome to the new black and blue division. It's where everything new is just like it was old. So yeah, I'm glad they lost. I say that because, again, I firmly believe, we don't know, obviously injuries could play a part, anything goofy could happen, but I firmly believe the Bears will beat Green Bay, and I believe the Bears will beat Detroit when they play them again as well. Now, what happens against San Francisco and Cleveland remains to be seen, but I wouldn't be shocked, man, at 12-5. I think 12-5 gets you no worse than third in the NFC conference and get you to host a playoff game. 11-6 might do the same as well. I don't think the NFC South is going to get anything but one team, and they're going to be the weakest of the division winners.
It'll be all the wild cards will come from us in the West.
Yeah, exactly.
If not all from the West. Well, no, it's 3 wild cards, right?
Well, three wild cards.
Yeah, so they'll get 2, we'll get 1 for sure.
Yeah, for sure.
Or vice versa, because Detroit is
vice versa.
Yeah,
right. So yeah, man, it's
Well, wait, who am I missing in the NFC West?
Seattle and
I got Seattle and San Francisco
and the Rams.
The Rams. Oh, yes. Okay.
Yeah, they're leading.
They're leading the division, right?
Both of them are 10-3. Both teams,
right?
Them in Seattle.
And then I think they play again in the next couple of weeks. So
Seattle, that was crazy. I was watching on Red Zone, and it was 6. It was 6-6. It was 6-6 at half. And the next thing I looked up, it was 30-9. It was man. I was like, how did that happen?
They've had a few games like that this year. They beat somebody like that in the first quarter this season.
Well, why they played when they played Washington? I remember Sunday night game, and it was over after the first quarter.
Yeah,
they just pummeled them.
Yeah, so they're the best team no one's really talking about.
Yeah, and they're flying under the radar. No one's talking about that team.
That defense.
Glenn, you talked about beating Green Bay. Oh, go. What were you gonna say, Smoke?
Well, I was gonna say, because Glenn just finished and he said that defense around the NFL this season is messing a lot of shit up.
Yeah. New rules to help the offense are coming.
I think
it's messing a lot of shit up.
There's always this
pattern, circularity.
The circular pattern where the offenses, have an advantage for a while, and then the defenses figure things out, and the defenses run things for a while, and then the offense takes over again. I think we're getting to that point where the defense is not totally. I don't think we'll ever totally take over just because of rules and how
that's
things
what happens.
work.
The rules change to help the offense,
right? But that's happening. You're right, Smoke. That's happening.
Houston,
Cleveland,
yeah.
Well, I'm more so going with the teams that's definitely going to be in the postseason though. But Houston,
New England,
Cleveland, Seattle, New England, the Rams. Shoot, watching this Philly and goddamn Chargers game. Denver, with our takeaways. The Packers, like, dog, these defenses are insane right now.
Right.
Insane
you know how you can tell even more so? Because the teams that are pretty much quarterback centric are struggling.
Yes.
Burrow, Mahomes,
yeah.
Lamar, Josh Allen's got to put on a cape damn every week, but the ones that have team-centered offensive attacks where it doesn't depend just on the quarterback, you look at Denver. Bo Nix is doing all right, but they ain't winning because Bo Nix is slinging a rock. The Bears ain't winning because Caleb is slinging a rock at 58% completion percentage. New England, yeah, Drake May is having a really nice season, but don't get it bent. They got a pretty good running game. Same thing with the Rams. So just saying.
Did Hurts just throw another pick?
Yes.
Wow.
Getting exposed.
Yes.
Oh, that's not his fault. That should have been caught.
Yeah, that was off
AJ Brown.
That
That should have been
Brown
caught.
hands, but unreal.
Anyway, back to what I was going to bring up.
Say the Packers.
I'm a little worried about this Cleveland game and it becoming a trap game.
No,
because
it better not become a trap game.
We can get so focused on Green Bay that you look past this team that's only won 3 games this season. And
you know why I don't think it'd be a trap game?
Why is that?
Well, they just lost.
Shedeur Sanders. Because I put it this way: if the Bears allow Shedeur to come in and be hot like he was, even in defeat, that'll turn me. That'll make me not believe. It will. I mean, like, and it might be just me feeding into the media. Just they're pounding this Shedeur thing to us, and understandably so. He feels like he got blackballed, whatever. I care less, but we gotta go from turn the fans from excitement to questions. Are we sure he's a franchise quarterback? That's what I want to see coming from this game, because they don't belong on the field with us. How we've looked all year, they do not belong on the field with us.
They beat Green Bay.
Yeah, but it was 10-7. If they beat us,
Dylan Gabriel.
No, it wasn't. It was Joe Flacco. But if
okay, I'm sorry, with the old man there.
But if they do it, it better be 10-7. It better not be Shedeur out there going crazy on us.
I mean, it could be any number of ways. And I mean, Myles Garrett is doing some Madden stuff. He's gonna probably have 30 sacks.
I think this needs to be a statement game.
I think he's 2 shy.
2 or 3 shy, yeah.
Yeah.
It's insane. With like 4 games left to play.
Smoke, I hope you right that they have that mindset. I'm just worried they looking past. We thinking too much about this team that we lost to yesterday, and we got them again in just 2 weeks.
I
don't think this coach will let them.
Hope not.
Exactly. If Ben is what we've been thinking and what we've been seeing, there's no way they go into this game looking past it.
I really hope not. Because it's like you talk about Myles Garrett. This Cleveland defense is legit. They're real. They're real.
Well, that's kind of why I don't think there'll be a trap game, because their defense is legit and is such a problem that our head coach, who's also the offensive coordinator, he has to focus on it. It's kind of like okay, I got to problem solve this defense, and it is be unlike any other defense they've really faced, because as good as Michael Parsons is, he's still not Myles Garrett good yet.
No.
And Myles is, he's destroying game plans, on a losing team. And at the end, I think to what Brandon just said, as far as the Shedeur factor, all the attention that brings you, it's hard for this game to come in as, an invisible game or as
over it.
It's hard to look it over because of everything that comes with it. So, and I think because the Bears lost.
You don't want to be the team that lost to Shedeur Sanders and the Browns.
Well,
you just don't. You just don't, especially with them just losing to Tennessee. We know how they lost, but we know how that happened. But at the same time,
what was that? I was watching that game.
I have my own theory to that, but
why would you go for 2 and the quarterback that just took you downfield you take him off the field.
Man, they don't want to win, and it's not
Draft picks.
it's not people are buying into the whole they hate Shador thing, and it's helping the Browns tank with in what you call it in plain sight. It's helping them tank in plain sight. They put it all on Stefanski. Oh, he don't like Shador. No, Shador just went crazy. That's all you need to see. We don't need to win another game.
Right. Right. Right.
We don't need
I
to win
understand that.
another game. Forget this game. Tennessee is who we need to get in front of.
Well, then you know what? Then sit Myles Garrett against the
No,
Bears,
they not going.
please.
I'm telling you, they
No,
go.
historic pace.
That's go give
Make
it
it
away.
too obvious. Yeah.
It's gonna give it away.
So celebrate his historic achievement in a losing season while you secure the top 3 pick.
A top 3 pick, and if they fall in love with the quarterback, guess what? We can trade the pick if we want to.
Well, yeah,
That's
but
true.
it's not. I don't know who would be your quarterback pick.
Mendoza from Indiana. He'll be the first quarterback taken.
Is he better than Shador?
Is he? No. What he's saying is you keep Shador.
No, I
and
understand.
trade-
I understand what he said. I'm just saying. Let's just
Is he
say
better?
if that is the pick.
What? He. I think they're similar. They're similar. I think he might be a tad bit more athletic than Shador, and by a tad I mean a smidge. But they're pretty much similar. They're the same quarterbackish. They're both going to be accurate. They both can make pro throws. They both have strong enough. I think it's tough to say. Sometimes in college, the velocity of the quarterback throws the ball looks a little better than it may in the pros. That's because the hash marks, I think, make a difference where they line up in college. They're closer together, and the pros are a little bit further apart. But no, Mendoza, he's a pro, and he's tough, and he's going to make a lot of teams feel comfortable because he's got the right complexion. He does a very obvious God-fearing thing, all that stuff. He seems like he's a good kid, so he's got a good story, all those things. So an NFL team's going to be happy to get him as his quarterback. If it's the Jets, I'll pray for him because they may find a way to try and ruin him. But yeah, no, they're this. I don't think there's much of a difference per se. And they might be the same age. Mendoza might actually be a half year or some months older.
Yeah.
So yeah, they're pretty much the same cat to me.
Hey, speaking of college football, there has been some drama the last couple days in the college football world.
I thought the BCS was some BS back in the day. Playoff thing.
So
we have a SEC guy here too. Let's hear
it. All right. So your 12-team playoff, you've got Indiana is the number 1 overall seed after their win in the Big Ten championship, rightfully so. Ohio State 2, Georgia 3 after winning the SEC title. Texas Tech at 4, who was very impressive this season. I watched a couple of their games. I like Texas Tech.
That's my team to win all.
Oregon in the 5th spot. Ole Miss at 6. That's going to be interesting with Lane Kiffin gone to LSU now. So they've got the defensive coordinator took over as is he interim at this point?
Actually, no, they named him the head coach.
They named him
yeah.
Okay. 7 is Texas A&M. 8 Oklahoma, 9 Alabama. All right, now here's where 9 Alabama is where it gets interesting. 10 is Miami, who leapfrogged Notre Dame, who was ranked higher going into championship week.
Most of the season.
All right. 11 Tulane. And then 12 James Madison.
Why?
So how did Tulane and James Madison?
How does that? Yeah,
I still need to know that.
Well, I think it was because of the Duke beating
Beat Virginia.
UVA in the ACC title game.
I get that, but what
James
conference is
Madison,
Tulane in?
Tulane is
U.S.
American
Conference USA.
Conference USA, and then James
So they
Madison's
don't get
American,
they don't
right?
the Tulane Conference USA don't get a quote automatic bid, do they?
No.
To the champion from that
Well,
conference?
there is no automatic bid.
Well, true. I guess you're right. Because ACC champion ain't getting there.
So I
Well,
don't
right.
get how Tulane gets in, and maybe because maybe there are some conference stipulations here. How
I
does
think
Tulane
Tulane
get
was
in?
Tulane was the highest rated non-power four
Power four.
conference team that won their conference. Tulane
Okay.
getting in is I'm not that makes
Okay, so okay,
precedent type sense to me. James
James
Madison, the
Madison.
ones that's a head scratcher to me.
okay. Yeah, I
Um,
can understand the Tulane.
Tulane, right?
I brought them up because I thought maybe they were in a conference that they considered to get in. So that's why I brought them up. But James Madison, I'm definitely confused.
Yeah, well, Tulane is the highest, I think, highest ranked, like I said, non-power four conference team that won their conference, and I think 'cause I think they got in last year too, didn't they?
What's Tulane? No,
Mm,
they weren't. They
Tulane,
weren't in last year, were they?
Boise was in
Oh, it was
last year.
Boise. It
Boise,
was
yeah,
Boise. Right,
yeah.
right. So they are this year's Boise in a lot of ways.
Yeah,
Um,
Boise and the other team was Indiana that people thought, right? What? Because Indiana
you talking
was
about
in it
last year?
last year too, right?
What is? Yeah, but they're in the Big Ten.
I know, but they were just one of them teams that people didn't really believe in.
Well, because they never seen Indiana do it ever
Yeah,
before. I mean, they came out of nowhere. It was like, like them and Vanderbilt came out of nowhere the last 2 years, but they both got better this year. I think Vandy has an argument to be in there to some
I
degree.
agree. I agree.
Um, because, talking about playing some tough teams, but winning on the road, beating Tennessee in Tennessee is not easy. Beating the shit out of Tennessee in Tennessee is even more difficult, especially when it's a rivalry and Tennessee looks at Vanderbilt like the little brother. So, and you got a Heisman hopeful in Diego Pavetta there. So that I thought you could make an argument for Vanderbilt. What I don't get is why Notre Dame is not in there because their combined loss is like 4 points against two teams that are in the playoff with Texas A&M and Miami. They won 10 straight, and every game they won, I believe, was a double-digit victory after that. Now, they didn't have a lot of ranked teams afterwards, but they did beat USC, who was ranked, who was a rival, and they did beat Pitt, who was ranked. I think they beat them at Pitt, if my memory serves correctly. But those are two other ranked teams that they won. They won by double digits. A team that Miami struggled against in terms of Pitt. What I don't get is how the committee can say if you go to a conference championship game, the loss shouldn't hurt you. If that's the case, then why did you completely snake BYU?
Yep.
BYU has two losses
Yep.
on the season to the same team.
Yep.
Well, you can't look bad loser. Okay, well, then explain Alabama
Alabama.
because they look
Alabama,
Yeah.
because
bad.
they look terrible.
They look terrible. And
They
really,
look
Georgia gave a
terrible.
touchdown. Georgia got disinterested after it was 21-0. But they look bad. And they had a bad loss during the season. They lost to Florida State,
Florida
and
State.
Florida State's not ranked. So, on top of that, if you're Virginia and you lost, I guess a conference loss wasn't supposed to hurt you. Now I get it; they lost to Duke, who was 7-5, so I get that. But the fact that Oklahoma or the fact that Alabama didn't even move after losing doesn't make any sense. And they're the only three-loss team in there.
Yeah.
Now
I,
you can't tell me that. And even if you
But
want, here's the other thing. Even if you wanted to if you wanted to put Alabama in there, keep them in there, I still don't understand why Notre Dame's not in there and James Madison is. Because if it's supposed to be the 12 best teams, there's no way in hell you can convince me or anybody else that James Madison going on Eugene, Oregon is going to be a good
okay,
game.
well, here's what I don't understand, and I get Tulane won the American. but they have 2 losses. One loss was at Ole Miss, 45-10.
Close game.
Guess who their other loss was to this season?
Wyoming.
Texas San Antonio.
Hey, man, don't
UTSA.
go past the red
48-26.
Another close game.
Crazy, man.
What are we doing? What are we doing?
This was two things. This was a FU Notre Dame moment.
Which I'm fine
and-
with.
And this was a let's make up for not getting Alabama in last year.
Maybe the Notre Dame thing doesn't make sense to me because at the end of the day,
It draws ratings. If it's about
right, money, money, and you can't tell me Notre Dame isn't going to provide what you said, money and revenue and all that stuff, and attention, so on and so forth. James Madison, you're losing out. No one's going to watch the James Madison Oregon game.
At least James Madison, they have one loss, and it was at Louisville.
Okay.
All right. They beat some pretty good teams in here. They beat
Weber State.
Actually, they did beat Weber State.
I know. I saw it earlier.
They beat Washington State.
Pac-12. Watch out.
Grambling could have probably beat Washington State this year.
I don't see any other big one. Liberty.
Yeah.
Liberty was probably the biggest win.
ODU.
Old Dominion.
I'm just saying. And they won by some pretty, some lopsided scores. But the Tulane thing, I don't get. Well, I'm sorry.
I'll say this. I think
I could see if Tulane was undefeated.
Right.
Okay.
The part I don't get. And I posted it, which because I know it plays a factor, but it's kind of like, how does this play a factor? And that's the whole conference thing. Like, how does that play a factor if Miami didn't play in their own conference championship game? Yet the team that, because did they lose to Duke or they lost to Virginia, and that's why they didn't play in it?
They didn't lose to either of those teams.
They didn't lose either.
They didn't lose to either.
No,
they didn't play them.
They lost. Miami lost to. Hold on.
Wake Forest.
Yeah. I'll give you
Georgia Tech.
Give me 1 second. ACC.
Wake Forest.
The Canes lost to Louisville 24-21, and they lost to SMU.
Oh, SMU.
Yeah.
Right.
They did not play Virginia.
No.
Wait a minute. They lost to Louisville, SMU.
Yeah.
And
Louisville was ranked earlier in the year.
Because they beat Notre Dame week 1. And I am a Miami fan. But
they also beat Bethune-Cookman. Big win.
Come on, dog. Because the ACC schedule is equivalent to the independent schedule that Notre Dame plays. Let's be real here.
Notre Dame.
Pretty equivalent. Notre Dame losing to Texas A&M.
Notre Dame lost to, they started on to.
Should give them some credit versus Miami losing to damn SMU.
They beat a bad Purdue team.
In-state rival.
They beat Arkansas SEC team. They beat Boise State. They beat SC.
Boise was in the playoff last year. Granted, we know that's a little different, but still, they was in the playoff last year. For them to even schedule Boise.
They beat ranked Pitt.
Yeah, barely.
I'm sorry, I don't, and
same
granted, I'm not the biggest Notre Dame fan out there. I'm not that mad at it.
I think
not in.
Yeah, I'm not that mad at it. Now, and I will say with Alabama, you talked about the championship game. Notre Dame didn't have to play a championship game.
Miami
Alabama
did.
had to play Georgia again, right?
I think
Can you punish them for that? Now you brought up the BYU thing, but
yes, you can
I don't
punish
know.
them for it because they lost. Don't lose. How about this? Don't lose. Don't stop rewarding you for losing.
Okay,
It's the same. It's just
so then they should have said, you know what, we don't really want to play in the SEC championship game. Let's let Ole Miss play for it.
no, but that I think that's
But be
why.
but be competitive.
But that's the other thing too. If you're gonna lose, make it like the Bears lost to the Packers. Let it be in a little bit of doubt. But to your point, I think that's why. And so I'm asking myself, can you screw Notre Dame, but why Oklahoma? I mean, not Oklahoma, excuse me, why Alabama? And I think that's because if you punish them, you're going to upset the whole championship game platform. And it's like, well, you don't need those championship games anymore because you got these playoffs. Yeah, but the Big 12 championship is for who? The Big 12. ACC is for the ACC, SEC. Those are money makers. I don't care what anybody says. At the end of the day, it's money. And you play those championships, that's extra revenue for you. You don't have to share with, you know, a bowl system because these games are set up in whatever venue that's agreed upon, contractually agreed upon for these conference championship games. And so that's a way of, I think, the committee trying to maintain this championship platform, which I think eventually may go away. But I think that's partially why they did it. Because
Well,
otherwise, you got
why
you got a
why
big
could
team like
why couldn't you have just kept the BCS format and just gone to use that way of generating the rankings and just go to, well, now they're going to go to a 16 team
Well,
playoff, which is
because
fine. I think 16 is the right number.
well, because they wanted
16 has always been a magic number.
Yeah.
no offense, GM, but they wanted SEC voices in the room.
Well, I don't think they want to piss off the
That the
SEC. I think that's what it is.
the argument
The
has
SEC and the
been
Big Ten run everything.
yes, but the whole playoff and expansion thing came because everyone elevates the SEC to such heights that every excuse is they not playing the same teams that the SEC is playing. That's the argument people have for Notre Dame versus Alabama or SEC school. Me personally, I think the SEC, like most conferences, is top heavy. That's just me. That's just me. That's
It's
just
not.
me. I think if Notre Dame was in the SEC, they'll probably have 2 or 3 losses.
Yeah, but it's not top heavy anymore.
Well, I say that as I
It's
get
just
what you're saying. I say that as Notre Dame could go in the SEC and compete.
well, yeah, but Notre Dame is not your typical program. Notre Dame has its own TV contract, bro. They got coffers. They can afford to buy players. So Notre Dame is it's not like saying, Connecticut. I think there's the
Yeah,
whoever else
but I'm
any
saying,
big thing
but
is.
that's the argument people make against Notre Dame is if you put them in the SEC, they wouldn't even be 500.
I think
Yes,
anyone
they
saying
would.
that is a knucklehead. I think those aren't real college fans because it's very easy to see that Notre Dame, especially with NIL now, they're able to compete. Part of the reason why Brian Kelly left Notre Dame to go to LSU was because of the standards that were required, to get into Notre Dame and then being able to have the resources to maintain them. He felt he wasn't getting the best athletes in the terms of depth situation. Like he didn't have the quality depth. When he played Alabama, when they had Manti Te'o, when they played Alabama and got smashed, that's when he was kind of
He
like,
wasn't the coach then, was he?
Yeah, he was.
yes, he was a coach.
He was the
Yes, he
coach
was.
at
Yeah.
Notre Dame
Yes, he
then?
was.
Yeah.
Yes, he was. He was like, I don't quite have, and he even said it himself. He's like, I don't have the same restrictions in terms of getting talent at a place
Damn,
like
how long
LSU.
was he at? How long was he at?
10 plus years.
Yeah, I
He
think
was there that
he got
long?
there. He got there like 20. 10,
Yeah, I think close to
maybe
10.
before that.
Yeah. He
Damn.
left since he left
He-
Cincinnati, I think, right?
yeah, remember he left Cincinnati before they
That's
got to a
right.
playoff, and he
It's like
left them, or was it was the
no,
No.
BCS game?
it was a BCS. It's just that they were ranked top 10. They
No,
were
I
in
thought
the
they were. I
running.
thought they were in the running. I thought they made it to the top.
They were in the running, but they never got crossed that threshold. They were in the running. It was like them, Rutgers, a couple other teams had really good years. BC was, I think, good around that time too. Um,
Damn. I did not realize he was
but
at
right, but he
I did
left.
not
It,
realize he was at Notre Dame for 11 years.
yeah, so he left in part, and he said himself to get better access to better talent at LSU. But now the landscape of college has changed to where Notre Dame is like they're as good as anybody in terms of being able to afford. There are other things that Notre Dame can do for some of these players, and some of these other SEC schools are unable to do because of the Notre Dame network, globally speaking. And just
Man, I'm just glad you brought up Brian Kelly. What Brian Kelly proved is that it don't matter about the resources if your ass can't coach. Cause you went to LSU and
well,
shit the bed.
I'll say
Just
this:
just just
he did, but I think sometimes things aren't a fit. I think
yeah,
maybe
he
he's
was
at
phony. He was
yeah,
phony coming in the door.
he's
We
a bit
talked about that.
disingenuous,
Yeah,
right?
we talked about that.
And let me tell you, having been down there in SEC country and what have you, they can smell a phony. Look, man,
Oh, I
if
know.
you ain't right, you know too,
I
right?
went to school in Louisiana,
Yes,
so
it's like
they
if
was
you ain't,
not
mm-hmm, if
they
you ain't
was
from here,
not feeling Brian Kelly.
no, if you ain't from, because Saban used to catch hell when he first went to LSU because they called him a carpetbagger because he came from Michigan State. But when you win and you start to fit in, but you're authentic, however you are, you're authentic. They'll accept you. So Saban's considered a Southerner now, although his ass came from up north from Michigan State.
The
But
Ohio
Brian
guy.
Kelly, yeah, Brian Kelly never. Same thing with Urban Meyer. He wasn't no Southerner, but they love him in Florida now. You know what I'm saying? So they can smell a phony. But now the landscape has changed. So if you're Notre Dame, with all the money and the resources you have, you got no problem. You'll be able to compete in any conference. As a matter of fact, you can still not have to be in a conference because you're Notre Dame. So that's not the best example of a school like Notre Dame going to the SEC. Yeah, they'll be able to compete without a doubt. They got NFL players out the wazoo. They got guys backing up guys who'll be playing in the NFL. So that's not the thing. But I think the committee didn't want to piss off the SEC. I think that's why that happened. And again, the Big Ten was quiet about it because the Big Ten is like, well, we got the first two spots, and they've got Oregon coming in,
Oregon.
and yeah, so and Texas was kept out, So if Texas slid in, I think they'd been more pissed off.
Yeah.
But it doesn't.
Honestly, when it all came down to it, I was happy they didn't get in.
Yeah, they had a horrible argument, and they didn't play good consistently all year either. And I don't think a three-loss team, excuse me, should be in there unless there's something exceptional. E, there's a lot of teams that have losses. Like, majority of your teams have two losses, and maybe
Mhm.
another
You can let
three-loss
you
team
can
is
let
in
one
there.
sneak in. I got you.
Right. But this year, no, you got two undefeated teams playing in a Big Ten championship. If there was no championship game, you'd have two undefeated teams. And you had several one-loss teams that were really good. And some of these two-loss teams that didn't make it, Notre Dame, Vanderbilt, are good enough that you don't have to have a three-loss Alabama team in there. It doesn't make any sense to me. Other than you didn't want to piss off the committee, the committee didn't want to piss off the SEC conference to some degree about because of having the conference championship game and punishing a team that goes. Because to your point, is they can start saying, "Well, I don't want to play in it because I don't want it to cost me, or I don't want my players to get hurt, so on and so forth." I think eventually they'll do away with them because of the injury factor. Because I want to say somebody had a conference championship game and one of their players got banged up. I can't remember. It might have been the Big 12. No, it wasn't the Big 12. Um,
Wasn't it ACC
no,
with
because they're
Florida
not.
State?
No, no, no. Florida State. Um,
When did what's the name get hurt for Florida State, the quarterback?
Oh, you're talking in the past. I meant this season. I'm sorry.
Oh, okay. I thought
No, I'm saying this season. But yeah, that's an example too. But they lost him. They won their conference championship game, but they did lose him before, and they didn't make the playoffs. But that was before the 12-team playoff thing. That was back when you had 4 teams. So yeah, man, it stinks. It just stinks. And either Alabama should not be in there and Notre Dame should be in there, or Notre Dame is in there, you keep Alabama, and James Madison or Tulane shouldn't be in them.
All right. The bowl system. Um, Notre Dame was the first to opt out, saying they didn't want to go to a bowl after getting snubbed by the college football playoff. After that, Kansas State, Kansas, Iowa
Weird.
State, Florida State, Auburn, Central Florida, Baylor, Rutgers, Temple, and Ruck. I think that's the one that gives Temple have opted out of bowl games this year.
That's weird.
well,
Is the
Jim,
is the bowl system coming to an end here, you think?
it should.
It could, but there's still going to always be some team that accepts it because it helps perception wise. It's something you can use as
What's
a
good?
recruiting tool.
It's good exposure and it gives us something to watch during the holidays.
Well,
But
as a fan, sure.
right. So
As a
so I
fan,
asked
sure.
so I asked this. Why is this the case for football? Where it bowl game seems like participation trophy. Everyone gets a trophy. It's I mean,
it isn't. You have
it's
130 plus
it's
teams, but
it's no I guess, but because basketball and baseball has an actual tournament that you can actually play.
Yeah, you can't. We're never gonna get to a point where there's a
No,
64
and
team
yeah, I understand that,
physical,
tournament.
yeah,
Can't do it.
can't do it. It's not safe.
Yeah,
but you don't get celebrated for going to the NCAA tournament and then getting your ass whooped the first game.
You
Whereas
compare.
whereas whereas for like football, you go to a bowl game, it's like you damn near get national championship treatment when you win it, confetti, trophy. It's I mean, let's be honest.
I think it's just
Like
you know what the bowl. I feel like the bowl system is just it's tradition.
Thank you.
It's
and
I was
tradition.
gonna
that's
say,
true. And I understand that, but
as a baseball guy, I'm like, it's tradition. You got come on. Some things are just tradition. They don't necessarily meet reasonable rationale because it's tradition. Is why you do it.
It's tradition. It's always been the thing to do at the holidays.
well
Watch
now
college football.
yeah,
But
the
except
holidays
the bowl games actually meant
Yeah,
something.
right. That's
they,
what
they factored into who was
Yeah,
the
and,
national champion.
yeah.
and now that they put it as with the playoff, those bowl games mean something again. Rose
Those bowl
Bowl,
games,
Orange
Those
Bowl.
bowl games do.
Right.
Yes, the playoff bowl games do.
Yeah.
But
not the Pop Tart
we
Bowl.
talking about the Pop Tart.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the
but
the
only
Citrus
bowl
Bowl.
game
The
Tax
outside
Slayer.
yeah
only bowl game outside of the goddamn all these other bowl games that means something to me is a celebration.
celebration. Yeah, yeah.
To me, that's the only one that has some
By the way, my mother-in-law not happy. Her Jackson State Tigers took a L in the SWAC championship.
preview.
Yeah, and she had already bought her plane ticket and everything to go to
Damn.
Atlanta for the Celebration Bowl, so she's
Damn.
not happy. Let me tell you. But yeah, I hope, man. I hope this doesn't become, this isn't setting a
I
precedent.
mean,
And
but it's been getting kind of watered down anyway. A lot of kids been opting out as of late. Like
Right.
it's been kind of not being up to the standard of the past anyway, even with the games being played, because
yeah,
so many players would opt out because of draft purposes. So it's like you said in the beginning, it's about exposure, but shoot, these
Well,
kids aren't looking for the exposure.
yeah, they are. The ones that didn't play most of the season that sat the bench are looking for exposure.
Yeah, they
Because
looking for
now,
transfer portal.
They can use that, right?
exactly,
Yeah.
exactly.
Right.
So it still serves a purpose. It may be a little more narrowed and less nuanced in terms of, the celebratory aspect of it, or what a bowl may or what it might have used to have meant. But no, it still serves a purpose, and that's exposure. Coaches,
It just
this is
I just sit back and think like football, and it's a part of a lot of me being Chicago and an Illinois person. I just feel like you play football, you get a lot of opportunities to be a winner in football in some way, shape, or form.
Oh,
You get a lot of you get more. So let's go. Let's take it to the ground level. High school
okay.
football in Chicago, in Illinois.
Okay.
There's 8 classes for a state football champion. There's only 4 classes in every other sport. There's
It's
8 classes for football.
well, I never understood why they moved it to 8. It should have been. It was always 6 before.
right.
Before it was 8.
Okay.
Right.
Let's but it's 8 now. Even if it was 6, it was 6 before, but that was because it was only 2 classes for the other sports before. So it's still going way out.
Okay.
Then okay, you take state. Let's take it even lower to the Chicago public schools.
Okay.
You have state football. You lose in state. Guess what? You're
City.
not done. You can go play for a city championship. And guess
Well,
what?
that's because of tradition.
But
That's
again,
because there's a 100-year-old prep bowl that they want to keep around.
Yep.
another opportunity to be a winner.
But no, but
And
also the football
and
is
if you win,
it's
you
a
go.
shorter
And
season.
that's and so
Yeah.
that's what I said initially. I guess because it's a shorter season,
Yeah.
that it gets the
Now,
opportunities to play those.
I would argue there's some players on these teams that are like, yo, I'd rather have the off season
Mm.
because now you got to keep
Yeah,
practicing
because the bowl
through
games are like
December.
almost a month of
Right.
apart.
Right. And then you go home for a week and then you got to come back to school and that next week workouts start. There is no off season in college football. So I would argue maybe that has something to do with it too. I don't know. I don't know. Hey fellas, let's go to picks real quick and let's get out of here. Our last picks were from 2 weeks ago. Smoke. You went 2-1 that week. You are now 12-15. Uh, GM, you went 1-2.
That's crazy. Crazy
One and
talk.
two that week. You're 14-13 now. I went 2-1. I'm now 17-10. So Smoke, you are up first. Who you got?
I think you fudging these numbers, man.
I never. Don't be mad because I'm a winner right now.
I am
Too
mad.
bad I'm not doing. I'm not taking my picks in real life.
Which is crazy.
I just lose everything in real life.
Okay. Oh, this is this week. Where is next week? Hold on, trying to pull it up.
Yep.
There's some big spreads I'm staying away from.
Wow. Oh, I don't know about that. That's crazy.
I know, right?
I'm not touching that one. I'm gonna take Philly on the spread though. Minus 12.5 versus Vegas.
That offense.
Versus that team. They might score twice on defense. Fucking around with Gino.
That's true.
What was that spread again, Eagles?
Minus 12.5.
That's insane.
Yeah, these spreads are crazy. Yeesh. I'm gonna take the Jets plus 11.5 versus Jacksonville. Oh yeah, I'm taking this. Oh, no. And I'm gonna take Seattle minus 11.5 versus in Indianapolis.
I think that's one I'm going to take. GM, what you got?
I'm going to take the Buccaneers minus 4.5 against the Falcons. They just gotta win that game. I'm going to take the Browns plus 7.5. The defense will keep that low scoring. And I'm going to take the Panthers minus 2.5 against the Saints. I actually think they'll win by a field goal or more. Panthers are trying to get in the playoffs.
Yeah, such a low.
Well, Saints winning kind of threw it off. I think if the Saints had lost, that spread might have been like minus 4.5, which would have made me think a little bit harder on it.
All right, I'm gonna take Seattle minus the 11.5. I'm going to take the Panthers.
Fighting Sam Darnold, huh?
Minus the 2.5. And I'm going to go with a weird game here.
Titans plus 12.5 against.
I'm going to take Navy minus the 6 versus
Army.
What you know about the military services, E?
Nothing. Nothing at all. I can't even lie to you, brother. Hey, shout out Brother Rice Crusaders on a state championship.
Yes.
Crusader team.
I'm gonna take half credit for the Mount Carmel Caravan. Who do we beat? Oswego for the 8A title. And yeah, that's high school football season there. It's over, all over.
Fight. I was just having,
Yeah, I don't know what you were singing there, man. Nobody knows those words.
Oh, yes, we do. We are
Hey, that's going to do it for this week's edition of the Easy Smoke and the GM podcast. I want to thank everyone for listening. Greatly appreciate it. You can catch our podcast on Apple Podcasts, Google, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Amazon, or wherever you find your favorite podcast. You can also catch us on YouTube, the video version. Go to YouTube, search for HP53 Productions, and there you will find link to our podcast and the Super Duper podcast hosted by Rob Griggs. Yo, Glenn.
Yep.
Please take us out.
Hey, like we always say here on Easy Smoke and the GM podcast, we ain't saying we're right. We just know we're not double E majors like Ezra. Look at that electrical engineer on his hat.
Maybe the Edmonton
I know
Eskimo slash Elks. Yes. We'll catch you next week.
Peace.